Compared to your role with Gerolsteiner, how different will your personal strategy be regarding stage wins and individual race wins? And are those strategies fully embraced by
well, like
I'm going to try to repeat the question. It's a long story. Basically, the question was around how is his role on the Discovery going to be different than Gerolsteiner as far as certain races and being able to go out after certain stage wins. General question.
Yeah, like I said before, I had a discussion with Johan about Basso and myself and how obviously he would be a big favorite. He has a lot of pressure on his shoulders. He has to fight a lot of battles right now. So I still have to go to the tour to ride my race, and it doesn't take away from a team to have two leaders. I mean, there's been plenty of teams that have done that in the past. With Lance, they never did that because, it was 99% sure that he would win, so that made sense. But with Ivan and myself, we can both go there and ride our own race. If he takes the yellow jersey, that's a different story, or if I take the yellow jersey, then there's going to be some more sacrifices have to be made.
I'm more interested in your personal, you have different goals that you have as far as aside from the tour, Germany and other ones. Are they all going to be supporting you more at that point? You might not be focused on all of them, obviously.
Yeah, the question was, I guess, other races. Ivan is very concentrated on the Tour of Italy. He wants to win that. I have races that I love to do. I'd love to win the Tour of California. The Dauphine is a race that I do very well at. Tour of Germany. So, I still want to win those races. I'd like to win other races like the Tour de France, but those are also races that I like to win.
David, I'll take your question in a second. But I also throw my 2 cents in. Obviously, Levi wants to win the tour one day, and Levi, maybe you can answer this. Having Boss on the team could actually, in some way, improve your chances, couldn't it?
Yeah, it definitely could, because he has to take all the pressure and all the burden now, and everybody's going to be looking at him. And there could be an opportunity for me to tactically, get away or just lay low and be the underdog. Definitely.
David, you talked about wanting to win the Tour of California and then wanting to do well in the Tour de France, and I'm just wondering, how do you manage to maintain your fitness at such a high level at the beginning, so early in the year, and then to do so well much later in the year?
Yeah, well, it doesn't take quite the fitness level or the same capability to win the Tour of California as it does to win the Tour de France, but it still would have to be in very good shape and have a very good day on the time trial here at the Tour of California. Unfortunately, I think will all come down to that day again. So if I can concentrate on my time trialing and have a good day but not be quite in my best shape, then it's possible to win. And also there's a large gap in between the 2 races, so I can afford to come up in fitness and take a break and then rebuild a little bit. It's such a gap that's very possible.
Talking about you being a leader for Tour of California, are you targeting any other races like Pyrenees or Tour de Georgia? Are those going to be kind of built up for you?
Well, like I said before, California, I'd love to win it. I have a couple of races between California and Georgia, which will probably be more for training. Races that don't really suit me, like Paris-Nice, doesn't normally have a decisive stage or a time trial or mountain stage or anything like that. So Georgia is a great race for me because next year it's going to have a time trial that ends up a climb. It has Brasstown Bald. I don't know if anybody's ever seen Brasstown Bald, but you wouldn't believe you're in Georgia. Yeah. It's very steep, and so yeah, I'd love to win Georgia and just about any race I take part in.
Glasses in?
Is the Tour de France the only Grand Tour you'll be doing this year?
Most likely, yeah. I mean, you always have to kind of see how it goes. And one year I only made it one day. I crashed and broke my hip, and then I had to do the Tour of Spain, which doesn't really work out because you're injured. But it is a possibility that I could do the Tour of Spain, but I hope not.